I've been dropped into the middle of the wilderness in the harshest conditions I've ever dealt with, dealing with some of the most complicated mods in Minecraft and being forced to survive. The zombies are smarter, the weather is harsher, and I have no map, no markers, and none of the things that I depend on. Oh, come on! That's not good. Oh, what do we do? This is part 2 of this adventure because it was too big for one video. And things are looking, shall we say, dire. It took me 50 days to bake bread. This pack is difficult. And if you want to see more videos just like this, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one. But as we walk out the door at the beginning of day 50, we have an action-packed day ahead of me. Me from the future, I know this, but me in that moment had no idea the storm that was about to come down on my head. I'm just sitting here casually making myself some armor, figuring out how fans work, figuring out that they somehow increase gravity. Can I seriously not jump? Oh, that's huge. Thinking I could potentially use that fan for a trap of some kind in the future, I also want to bake all of this bread and all of these baked potatoes using campfire blasting. So I used the fire starter and set the grass on fire, which started almost threatening all of my create apparatus, and this almost started with disaster. So instead, I baked the potatoes inside the house, killed any creepers that were trying to swim across the river, made myself a few boats, and headed out. Now that we have bread, I need protein. I need animals, specifically sheep if I can find them, because they can provide both meat and wool, which are essential for my long-term survival. Okay, come on. Ow. Okay, it is actively trying to attack me. Might be okay, though. This might actually work perfectly. Perfect. Is it still aggressive? Ow. Yes. Can I lead boats in this version? No. Shoot. I gotta run. Not good. Alright, that sheep can stay there for a bit. We are running. It's bad. All I hear is screaming. Nope. Get away. No. Stay underwater. It can't get me underwater. Not good, not good, not good, not good, not good. Get up the tower. Up the tower, up the tower. Oh my god, how did I survive? Not good. My head's completely grayed out. Oh my god! There's the chest plate. I need to have my walls be explosion. The blood moon might be over right now, but the house is still compromised, and I have hundreds of zombies walking around up on the surface that I need to kill before I'm going to be able to get any more progress done. I tunneled around right here underneath the base, starting to set up these sort of capture and kill chutes, thinking that if I made just a deep enough pit and then dug up to the surface, everything would fall down and into it. The only problem is I live right next to a river, so everything I'm digging into is all flooded. At first I thought maybe I could sneak back through the tunnel towards the house and seal it off quickly before any mobs got in through a couple different attempts, and, well, nope, that's the house. The house is in trouble. Big trouble. Big trouble. So, back to plan A. Death shoots for all of the undead if I can find a space where they would actually fall instead of just swimming in as drowned, carrying long-range weapons that can stab me from 2 blocks away. I did eventually find a small gap where I could just barely hit them, but they couldn't hit me. At least I thought. But at this point, I am out of water. Half of my body is grayed out. My max health is halved. I'm vulnerable to all damage, and I desperately need a nap. So while a little bit of rest fixed the fact that I had multiple gunshot wounds in my skull, basically, it doesn't solve the problem of dozens of mobs all around here, all trying to kill me. I made myself a copper rapier, which would allow me to do extra damage against unarmored enemies, which is pretty much everything that I'm fighting right now, using that to stab at all of the zombies around here and rushing up into the house, just throwing down whatever cobblestone I can to get it partially sealed. Once I had a secure foothold, I'm back on the roof, throwing tomahawks at everything in the river and trying to dodge any fishing rod bobbers that are trying to pull me down to my inevitable death. We're gonna make explosion-proof walls. We're gonna be so safe. So here's the big brain plan. If I make my walls out of stairs and then waterlog every single one of those stairs, then the walls are explosion-proof. So the creepers on spiders, well, they can't kill. I still had a few straggler mobs around here that I still needed to clear out, but this is led by a new problem. In this mod pack, water is not infinite, meaning it will not automatically convert down into source blocks in all of the stairs, and it will not automatically fill in the entire wall with just 2 buckets to my name. This is a solid commitment and will thoroughly ruin the water flow here in the river, basically for the rest of this adventure, but it's worth it. Anything to have a blast-proof space, meaning I'm actually safe inside? Yeah, you bet your butt that's worth it. But the following day, with everything said and done, it was time to finally head out and go recollect the sheep that I had abandoned some 4 days ago. Unfortunately for me, this sheep had a really long memory and was still actively hostile. So I couldn't just ride in the same boat, and I instead needed to drag them on a lead behind me in the main boat, heading all the way back towards home, being really worried about a single wolf coming in and ruining everything. But I'm feeling gutsy. Maybe we can try to get both in a single day. It's pretty far away in sailing. The days are far too short, but by getting out towards the same area over in that birch forest, it looks like probably I can grab another sheep here, but I'm going to have to survive through the night to be able to do it. Lucky for me, I have a bed, and all I need to do is find a safe spot to sleep. Come on, let me sleep, let me sleep, let me sleep. Please, let me sleep. Yes, let's go. Ow, less good. Let's quickly take a break from the horrors to tell you about something that I'm working on that is going away very soon. It's a game called CLASHOUT, played in real life at conventions, gatherings, or your dog who's interrupting your ad read. The idea is to give away your cards when your friends fall for whatever traps set for them. We're partnering with Creo to make it happen, and my card, my founder's card, the Beacon, has just been revealed, like right now, as you're seeing it. You can only get this card and 1 card for each of the other founders. Pre-orders close December 2nd. If you want to get a game that honestly is probably the best way to make memories with friends, old and new, enemies out of some of those friends, go grab it. Link is in the description. I would really love and appreciate so much if you could help us make this game an awesome success. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. And I'll let you get back to me fighting for my life. And as soon as the sun was up, I tried to take out a lot of the zombies at range, relying on my tomahawks. Once those ran out, I realized the solution to my problem was sitting amongst the mobs, triggering the creepers, keeping my shield up so I don't die, but putting those explosions to good use. Oh, I should get my tomahawks. Child, problem child. Oh my God, this child. let's just... Come on. Let's just try to push this. They don't seem hostile either, which is interesting. Did I get 2 friendly sheep? I got 2 friendly sheep. We have infinite wool. All I have to do is get them back. But the rest of the trip home was actually relatively uneventful. Staying close to and using the water as my primary means of transportation is working really well. It's making navigation really manageable, considering I don't have any maps or waypoints or anything like that. And I'm really glad I made it back at home and on time, getting the sheep secured to the fences surrounding the front door because a blood moon rose. Knowing that this could get very dangerous very quickly, my first thought was, instead of being able to do all stone walls, let's just focus on making sure that the space is closed with walls of any kind right now. I threw down as much planks as I could. I tried to sleep through the blood moon, but it just won't let me. Almost like that's how that whole mechanic works. And then got up onto the roof to check around to see what was coming in here and causing problems, and thought maybe if I direct all of the attention towards one of those murder holes from moment 1 of a blood moon, it'll be a little bit more manageable. So I started digging around underneath the ground, trying to find a spot that wasn't underneath the river that I could have all the zombies die for 1 drop. I got 2 flooded shafts instead, which gave me a whole bunch of drowned and a whole bunch of zombies that would become drowned as they drowned in the thing, because that's what the drowned name is probably for. Relying on my rapier to do a primary bit of damage and really just trying to wait everything out, staying as far away from my main structure as possible so as to not direct any creepers riding spiders to go ahead and blow it up. Actually feels moderately productive. I need to set up a zombie bunker that is just a death trap. Adding something to my ever-growing to-do list, I finally returned back to the house and then went to clear out a few of the mobs that now existed in the area, just kind of wandering aimlessly because they hadn't been able to target me before. Tomahawks are awesome here. I really, really like them, and I hope we actually get more thrown or projectile weapons in Minecraft. Modded stuff like this just feels like it really could be great, especially with the spear now being a thing. But I ended up taking some shots of my own, having my head grayed out, giving me the headaches, the blindness, the dizziness, and all of the above, powering through all of that and basically taking all of the following day just to clear mobs out, spending the last little few hours of daylight growing flowers inside the grass floor portion area of my newly enclosed structure just to build myself some more healing herbs so I could go ahead and get all of my limbs fully repaired the following morning. Okay, I don't need the sheep to get shot. I need the sheep to survive. So I tried to be really careful, taking every engagement at an angle that would never put my passive mobs in the crossfire between me and the undead who still, well, wanted me to join their ranks. Once I had cleared out all of the remaining mobs, I used the saw to make myself all of the wood I needed for a gate, and then primarily used the cobblestone walls to be able to set the sheep up because, well, it's kind of cheaper for me to make things out of stone instead of wood right now, for some very strange reason. Going ahead and shearing those sheep, as well as just harvesting all of my crops, I went to bed extremely happy knowing that we were entering the phase where another thing was renewable. In this pack, you're basically fighting tooth and nail for every single advancement. I mean, getting wood planks took me 8 days to be able to do it successfully. So anything that I can make more of that is entirely passive or fully renewable is huge. And wool is an essential crafting recipe in a lot of the stuff I'm going to need to make for long-term survival. So that is nothing but good news. But as all that just kind of ran, background passively without me touching it, I focused my time and attention on the house, enclosing fully and properly the 2x2 grid at the bottom of the structure here, knowing that I'm going to build a second floor, and that's where I'm primarily going to live, and eventually we're going to have this whole bottom floor be nothing but security gates, stone, and checkpoints. But for right now, it's where I have to live until I have the resources to close everything in again for the second story. And with that, I lay down to sleep and flew to San Diego to meet so many of you. Just, that event was so great. Thank you all so much for coming to see me at TwitchCon. But now it's back to past me, who was probably, after a week and a half, very confused. All right.
just got back from TwitchCon. Let's see if I remember what the heck is going on here.
But the first day back at it, after about a week stuck in the real world, was kind of just reacquainting myself with all of the projects that I had going. I sheared sheep, I filled canteens, I worked on the walls to make sure everything was reinforced. Purified water so I'd have something to drink, and cooked up and made upgraded weapons for myself, including an iron saber for as soon as my copper rapier will inevitably break. After that, I headed out. There's a lot of things we're going to need to be able to progress in Create that we're not going to be able to find here in the woods. Things like kelp, things like quartz, things like amethyst. And for any of that, I'm going to need to go pretty far away from where I'm living right now. The only problem I have is that I can really only travel by boat, and covering a lot of distance right here on this winding waterway is, well, not extremely efficient. And I really don't want to get caught out here at night, so I made myself a little temporary 3x3 shelter, just sleeping inside going into day 60, where I'm reminded that there are much more than just zombies that are threats in this wilderness.
Hello, crocodile. I don't want to fight with you. If we were like just by the ocean, I'm going to be so upset. Because I was here 20 days ago. Finally out of the woods, though. Ooh, another alligator. Or crocodile. Sorry, crocodile. Don't get mad at me for that.
Doing my best to appease the nature community down in the comments, I found a patch of sand that I was really excited to harvest up. Any of that will be useful for glass or other resources. Killing a bunch of chicken so I could get myself feathers, but also raw meat that I could turn into other really good food sources. And then realizing with torches in the distance that there's a village here. And even though at this point I've been alone for 60 days of this adventure, I'm still a Minecrafter, which means I steal every single thing that isn't nailed down, including some of the nails, including some of the walls that those things are nailed to. There wasn't a ton in this village. Well, there's a little bit, but the biggest thing that I had to worry about here was the zombies that had built up in a small little 1x2 pit directly underneath the town. But there was other good things to be found here, and just look how excited I get. I got onions. Yes. Ooh, snapping turtle. Snapping turtle. Ow. Ow. Ooh, you little bugger. I'm a man who's insanely excited over finding onions, and seeing a swamp directly north of the village right here got myself excited even further about the potential of finding wild rice growing out here, because those are two of the ingredients for some of the best foods in the game, or at least the best foods that I'll ever be able to make in this adventure. And guess what? It gets better. There's another portal right here with a chest that has a lot of tools that I can't make any other way, and then it gets a hell of a lot worse because there's seagulls all around, and you know me and these little sky rats, they all have to die. Get back here, you little piece of garbage. But before I had to get rice, I'd have to survive the night, and I thought the light being cast off from the lava here by the nether portal would provide me a little bit of a safe sanctuary, and lucky for me, I was actually correct. And lucky for you, once I cleared out all the mobs that had spawned around this area, it's time for everyone's, and I do mean everyone's, favorite bit. Once I dealt with the spectators of the first obsidian break in this world, it was time to just go ahead and speed through the rest of the collection. So, boop, there you go. Pretty quick, don't you think? And I basically did. I've seen so few overall sources of lava in this whole world so far. So any obsidian is good obsidian, and best obsidian is in my inventory. But I'm not stupid. I'm not going to go through this unprepared. I've kind of basically removed all of the lava that was my saving grace for the light that it cast off earlier, which meant that I really don't have anything that's going to keep me safe as soon as the mobs start spawning later in the night. There's still the seagulls I have to deal with. No. Oh, I hate those birds. But I did eventually find myself the rice that I was looking for. Ah, rice. Perfect. And right next to it, well, that's kelp. And all of that is amazing. It's going to help me advance extremely quickly in both Create and Farmer's Delight, which are the two main mods that I'm really exploring here. But as it started getting late and things started looking a little bit dicey, I started making a pretty large circle of torchlight right here, thinking that I could keep spawned mobs far enough away from me that none of them would be able to target me. Unfortunately, I was kind of wrong, and the range from which they can detect me is much further than the light that I've cast, and standing in the middle of an open field right now isn't really smart.
Okay, that's a problem. This is a genuine problem. This is, yeah, that's an actual problem. Oh, that's so big brain.
Sailing back towards land the following morning, I was a little panicked at some of the mobs that I saw in the ocean.
Nope. Honestly, I thought those were scullywogs. I was freaking the hell out. Oh, bear, not good.
But once I knew I was safe, it's just time to start running home. It's gonna basically take all day because it's taken me 2 days with stops to be able to make it out this far. So just getting all the way back to the base, hopefully I can do it in one. And lucky me, with just enough travel time, I pulled into the base right as the sun was setting.
We did it! A successful adventure. Successful. Now sleep before anything bad happens.
Sleeping into the following morning, it's time to get to work. I started by trying to organize all of the loot that I had collected. That's going to require putting more storage here around the base, so I threw a few barrels down just to throw whatever I can over here that really made sense, setting some of the kelp to smelt, and then turning my attention towards the second floor of the base. Wanting to get things here fully enclosed, fully safe and secure, and also planning out something that's going to look as aesthetically pleasing as I can manage, while also serving as a pretty secure bunker from all of the zombies that are constantly trying to kill me here. Once I set up the staircase, moved my bed, and organized a few other things regarding the structure, the kelp that I had set to smelt was all done, so I was able to make myself my first few belts, which I can use to transfer rotational energy across multiple different directions, but also, and most importantly, can be used for some automation in Create. To really leverage that though, I'm gonna need to make myself a wrench, which I can make with just a few gold plates, and it's the kind of tool that is essential to Create, but I think I've maybe crafted twice in every time I've ever used it across all of the mod packs, which is one of the main reasons why we have it here. With that all done, I focused on moving the tunnel that connected my house to the escape hatch in the middle of the river, as the existing tunnel was kind of just across the floor and not really safe. I'm not trying to parkour civ this thing. But the following morning, it's time to turn all of that attention to Create because I really want to set up automated wood production right here. I focused first on getting all of the energy to move the press, thinking that that would be a good idea right away. I did eventually move it back. Don't worry. It's just worth testing here. Just trying to figure out how exactly I can use this saw. I put it at eye level, thinking that maybe if I could use it on a belt, it had to be over the belt. But then I started to realize that it needed to be level with the belt for it to actually do anything, as the wood is just passing underneath the blade in its current configuration.
Yes, let's go. 6 logs per. That's even better. I just gotta figure out how to wire this thing. I have ideas.
So that means we're going to need 2 belts, one feeding items into the saw and another pulling those items off as each one completes. The only problem is, by setting them all up to turn in the same direction, the items are going the wrong direction on the saw and aren't being pulled off by the second belt, kind of getting stuck on itself. But right now, I'm honestly just happy that this is working at all. But now that I know that the saw works, I really want to automate it, setting up a secondary belt right behind the one that's actually going to move all the items and trying to figure out how to power everything so it works. The items just keep going in the opposite direction though, and I wasn't thinking with rotation just yet. I am that inexperienced when it comes to create. So every time an item would go onto the saw, it would start going in the opposite direction. And I'm not 100% certain what to do here. I know if you know this mod, you're screaming at your screen right now, but just watch the fool fail for a little while. Stop going the wrong freaking direction. Did that work now? Maybe that worked. I'm annoyed. Oh my god, this little child. But after dealing with the single most persistent baby zombie in all of Minecraft and taking out all of my aggression on them, I went to sleep, both in-game and IRL, and came back to things the following morning with a clear head. Finally realizing that it was about the directional rotation being pumped into the saw, the blade was spinning the wrong way around before, meaning it was cutting in the only safe direction, not in the direction all the belts were going. Once I realized that, once I set up one additional gear to swap the direction going into the saw, everything finally clicked into place. Yes! Finally! Okay, so this will strip logs first. And now, if I put these in, I'm getting more planks than even with the saw. I'm getting 6 at a time, which is huge. With no durability, mind you. This is all automated. Finally having it so that wood can be auto-processed into significantly more planks than I've been able to make from a single log this entire adventure, I turned my attention over towards the sheep, because we're going to need a whole bunch more of those for a whole bunch more wool. Breeding those mobs into the night, and then dealing with some of the more hostile of mob variety around the fences, trying to make sure that they don't pile up and eventually work their way inside. Finishing clearing out those mobs in the following morning, as some of them were just a little too resilient and or just a little too far away from the fence for me to deal with earlier. But don't worry, even though I'm working with the sheep, some of them are more than willing to invite themselves into my compound to get killed up close and personal. But I have other things to worry about and priorities that I need to keep my attention on. I'm harvesting all the kelp that I now have growing in the river, sugarcane along the coast of it, and setting copper to be smashed into plates so I could start working on copper piping, fluid dynamics, and start getting towards blaze rods. But I have to say, just the sheer amount of wood that I could generate by the log is amazing. I really am going to have to really leverage create more in some of my future playthroughs. Even just this little bit that I've done so far is making me appreciate it. But I started setting up all of the copper, the piping, and started thinking about what I'm going to have to do next. And the answer was not work here at home. I am pretty much out of iron. I'm going to need replacements for all of it, and I'm still short on log that I can convert into planks, even though that part is effectively free right now. But before it got too late and I got distracted too much, I did put the time and the effort in to setting up the pump. Eventually, when I get lava here, when I get everything set up, this is all ready to go. But in getting that all finalized and moving gears around to get everything powered, my axe had broken. And that was the last iron axe that I had. So it was time to gear up, grab a whole bunch of supplies, and prepare to go venturing out the following morning. And I started by heading back towards some of the cave systems that we've already explored and at least secured a pretty solid beachhead into. The area with all of the andesite, I know, has more resources here. I hadn't collected everything, so I was able to get a whole bunch of gold, which isn't immediately useful to me, but long term, if I want to try to get maybe zombie villagers cured or golden apples for myself, yeah, you bet your butt, it's gonna be great. The main thing I had to worry about here was the caves that I hadn't fully eliminated. They're constantly sending a wave of zombies and creepers in my direction. And the rocket creepers, those are probably the biggest problem for me, as they usually bypass shields. A couple different times, a few of my limbs, mainly my head, were grayed out, which meant I was taking pretty significant damage. But I was, in time, able to get myself a whole bunch of different resources, and I did consolidate all of my luck into one amazing bow drop.
Oh my god, that's an amazing bow.
But as long as I'm here, I'm deep enough into the cave, I'm in an area where kind of mobs are spawning, yes, but they don't always have a guaranteed path towards me, which is kind of the best case scenario. I'm working through the night, having ores being smelted as I go, setting up multiple furnace to get everything secured, contained, and smelted, while I'm just bopping mobs off of some of the interior cliffs and hearing them crash to their deaths down below. About halfway through the day, I had gotten everything I wanted. So I doubled back up the water, up the river, and back towards home. There was a few stray pieces of metal that I had to smelt, but pretty much everything was fully processed at this point. I had enough coal that I was able to make my first couple coal rods, which I'm going to need to be able to get blaze rods. Heading over towards the create system and finding out that standing on that saw, yeah, that really hurts.
Ow. Oh, okay, that was really stupid.
But I set up the lava to get everything ready to go, and wouldn't you know it, once again, the mod just wasn't working.
Oh, that's right. His mod is broken. I need to get... I have the data pack. I can fix it. I can bring that from the Skulk world. I can fix it. I can fix it. I can fix it.
So after a quick data pack install and relog, I set a whole bunch of wood to process on the wood cutter, just getting everything done, and then tried to spend a little bit of time with the sheep, getting myself all of the wool that I need, because I'm going to start wanting to make sails soon. I put planks through this thing, just trying to see what they processed into, and each individual one would cut down to a different type of wood product. And it's time to learn about filters.
That's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. Okay, this is... Can I do this? Okay, now it all... Okay, okay. Okay, I learned. That makes that. Okay. Let's send through... this. I need some oak planks. Okay, I get how this works now. This is actually really, really cool. This is huge because getting wood has been so difficult. So that's all those. Do this. Does it make it from 1? Oh, it makes it from 1. That's awesome. That is so perfect.
And after the end of a very nice day, it's time to start working with clay because I need to get myself some bricks. And I kind of just want to play out the whole problem solving of this day in real time. Enjoy.
Actually, I can solve that with create. That's actually a really good problem to have. I can solve that with create. But also, we can start farming lava. I'm gonna need more of that. Point lava here. One, 2. Now we can farm lava, which is huge. Because I think I've installed my data pack. Which means boop. Yay! Oh wait, I'm the doctor! Oh no, hold up! Oh, that I can't do that. That's gonna give people so much lore flashbacks. I can't have that happen. Gonna flashbang people with lore, and I don't want that. Not quite yet. Okay, BRB. Okay, there we go. That's a little more canonically appropriate. Do I have any netherrack? I don't. Shoot, I don't. That's not good. That's annoying. Can I bring any netherrack back? Really? Okay. We can be really careful about this, though. Let's see if this works the way I'm hoping it will. Or gun. Oh, yeah, that's right. You need to use gunpowder. Okay, that did not do what I was hoping. I just need bricks. How do I get a brick? Oh! Oh, wait. And then do I just smelt this? Oh, that was way easier than I thought. That's right. I need the recipe fix to be able to make that. Okay, another quick pause for another mod fix. There we go. Functional. Okay, there we go. Lava! I need a lot more coal, but... lava buckets. Okay, I need to... do this. This needs to clean up. So I need a bunch of coal. And a whole bunch of other things. Okay. We have a lot that we need to get. Where can I get netherrack? I know there's some out there. That away. Okay, so this is going. I have 2 out of the 7 that I need for that. This has made me all I could ever want. I need a bunch of coal. I need a bunch of logs too. Okay, well, we're gonna go mining, I guess, a little bit here. So get these set up. I can get that harvested. That will be good to go, I think. Oh, that's right. I got cabbage seeds somewhere along the line that I need to plant. Wait a second. I thought I got cabbage seeds. Did I not? I think I'm hallucinating. Okay, so this doesn't make sticks. One around the corner here. So sorry. How did they even know? Maybe if I feed them, they'll forgive me. Do not tell me that they're just aggressive now for forever. Oh, okay. No, we're good. Nope, we're not good. That's a later problem. I'm not. See, we have a lot of meat though. I think I can probably use this to some good effect. Just get a lot more onion. Who's still mad at me? We're good now? We're good now. Okay, we're good. Oh, I need tomatoes for that. That's not going to help. What can I potentially make here? I need cabbage before I can do anything with that to make dumplings. That doesn't give me much. I could have sworn I had cabbage. I'm losing my mind a little bit here. All right, that's something we're in a good spot. We'll bring this. We'll bring, nope, not this. We'll bring one of these. This can be my crafting table and food, I guess. All right, let's go. That's huge. All right. Boats. Oh, we keep going that way. Let's go this way for a change. Mix it up a little. With, yeah, a whole... Maybe I understand why we keep going the other way. This is like 50 blocks. Let's see what's on the other side of this very long dry patch. Because this is where we started so long ago. Giant gator. If I can find anything when it comes to coal or diamonds or anything like that, that would be huge. But every little bit of iron and everything else counts. Blueberries. Oh, that's awesome. Wait a minute. These are huge. Ice ferns is such a big deal because that can give us, we can stitch thread to insulate our clothes. Granted, that insulates us from the heat, so it's not super helpful in this environment, but it's something. And there's more sheep. Of course, there's sheep right here. Okay, I'm sorry. Interesting. Oh no, I hate that. Oh no 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 no. There's cannibals? When did I put that in this mod pack? I do not like that. This
that, anything along those lines. It's getting late and I need to be able to sleep. Let's just do this quick. Bone sword. Okay. Let's just sleep as quickly as we can before things spawn. Come on, sleep. Come on, sleep. Oh, hey, commentary me back after a couple days. I figured just let the live EO sit in for a minute. But after clearing out all of the mobs that were hovering around the base of my very impromptu treehouse, I turned my attention back towards the cannibal village. First up was the main structure that a lot of them seemed to be holed up inside, blocking the door so they couldn't rush out and just forming an orderly line of murder. Once up into the attic, there's a ton of bones in here, a ton of redstone in here, and a bunch of candles. And while 2 out of the 3 of those are extremely useful for me, the cobwebs actually giving me string? That's just as good, if not better. Once I made my way over towards the butchery, which I do not want to think about what this place is actually about when you think about what everything here is named, I was really lucky that the boss had actually wandered downstairs, being able to block off the staircase and just throw tomahawks down, or relying on my very limited bow ammunition. Things were going well until it seemed like they called in reinforcements. That's a chainsaw. I want that. I think I want that. Also, that's just another cauldron. Yo, let's go. Okay, perfect. We need to get out of here. Sticks. I'm taking the bone traps. I don't know how good they are. That's huge, potentially. But knowing that it was once again getting a little bit late, I thought, let's go camp up in a tree, checking out all of my loot while I was waiting. 13 attack? But wouldn't you know it, the world didn't like that I had advanced so much. Oh, come on. That's not good. Oh, what do we do? 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 Let's consolidate what we can. Torches. That's a lot of coal that we just wasted, but that's fine. Oh boy. What was that? Don't like that. This is not good. Oh, they're in the leaves. They're in the floor. Oh, this is slow. That's something. Oh, this is something. Oh! Okay, it requires some rev up time. Oh, come on. That's just rude. But once the sun had risen, I knew I was kind of cornered, and there's really only one way out of here. Thankfully, I had brought myself some pearls. Okay, that's a lot to deal with. But there's a trail of ruins. That's good to know. Where's my bucket of water? Oh, that's a gator. That's a lot of gators. We need to be not here. That's a lot of alligators. And I just sailed on top of one that could have eaten me and killed me in a heartbeat. I'm going to need the boat. So out. Because of course the chickens are trying to kill me. I think it's time we double back. Oh yeah, that's right. There's like no water here. Got no coal out of that. I don't know if we can make... We can't make just like a charcoal block or something. Wait a second. Is this a village? It's a village! These are These are tomatoes. Tomatoes is huge. Can I get... Was there cabbage? Or pumpkins? Somewhere in... That's... Tomatoes is massive. Is there... Cabbage seeds! Yes! Okay. What is... I don't need saplings. That's alone huge. That's so much more food options. I already have rice. Are there bookcases anywhere here that I can steal? There is. What's... Yeah, it's worth leaving behind. Okay, I need to get home. I desperately need to get home, and I really need to hope that that is not aimed in my direction. I cannot believe that this is so close. Like, my base is here. Think of how far we've gone in the other direction, and it's just... It was all right here the whole time. Please do not let the storm just completely mess me up. Okay, let's plant this right away. Those need to grow. And then... of all that growing. Huge. Huge, 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 huge. This is worth making right away. We might want to put this down. The thing, I am also so nervous of what this is going to cook into. Okay, it doesn't. Clearing out the last few mobs that had surrounded my base, I was able to get a great night's sleep, and that's perfect because on the morning of day 75, it's time to get cooking. With that last adventure out, I had nabbed myself tomatoes and cabbage, which basically are essential for any of the recipes I'm going to be able to make given my current supplies and technology level. I made sure to chop up all the cabbage to get cabbage leaves, which is basically just 2xing for the exact same outcome, and I'm focusing on making myself barbecue on a stick. It's a really high efficiency food and it works with exactly what I have on hand. I put down all of the blueberries so they would grow. I invested a whole bunch more bones into bone meal, into harvesting a whole lot more of the crops, and then turned my attention towards enchanting. I'm improving my food supply. I might as well improve my armor so I'm taking less damage while I'm at it. I put down the enchanting table that I was able to make using those 2 diamonds from the cannibal camp and started throwing down as many books as I I could manage. It's not a ton, it's not level 30 enchants, but I have 50 levels to work with, and with some of the mods in here, I can re-roll enchantments for just the cost of 1 lapis and a little bit of experience. Heading downstairs, all of my meat had cooked, which meant all of my barbecue was ready, and I have myself a half a stack worth of supplies. I can make more with a little bit more tomatoes, so I went and got myself more of that, and all said and done, I'm feeling amazing at the upgrades to my kit in just a single day.
That's so much really good food. Oh, that's awesome.
I need all of the lapis, which is a lot. That's huge. Okay. Make a barrel, a bookcase. Almost really good. I need fortune really badly because I need a lot more diamonds. So grindstone. So I made myself a grindstone and started re-rolling for fortune. Given the fact that I can just re-roll enchantments without actually having to waste all of the levels, I'm enchanting occasionally whenever I get good vibes, but I didn't really hit anything. I'm seeing fortune 1 a few times, but that's not good enough. I know that I can do better. Oh, fortune 1. I think I need to be higher level enchants before I can really take progress, which is sucks because I just wasted a bunch of levels. So the following day, I'm focusing on making bookcases. I have very limited leather right now. It's probably the biggest bottleneck in the overall tech tree and progression across anything. I can make paper. I can make a lot of other stuff. I can't make more leather. So I put down 1 additional bookcase, dealt with a skeleton who had crawled their way into my house, and then realized I had done no work to secure the outside of the fences, so I had to spend some time critting zombies over the wall. Having struck out on enchantments right now, I turned back over towards the create area, making myself a few more coal rods, and setting those all up to be lava blasted to make myself a few more blaze rods, crafting up 1 additional bookcase and doing a bit more re-rolling. And I'm still getting fortune 1 a lot of the times here. I'll take it. Fortune 2 is something. That's actually really good. It actually probably makes sense. Level up my defense game quite a bit here. I probably should get a better weapon. So I made and enchanted a new iron saber for myself, turned my attention towards water to purify a whole bunch of that, and looking at my kit, looking the progress I had made in just the last 48 in-game hours was insane. Huge. Absolutely huge. Okay. I think I know what we need to do. I'm well equipped to do it. Bring a stack of that along just in case. Because at this point, I know it's a little late in the day now to head out. I should really only leave the compound at dawn. I turn my attention to breeding up sheep and then taking a small portion of the immense amount of spruce planks that I had to finish up the walls on the 2nd floor and start preparing to actually enclose and finally fully finish the structure. There were quite a few zombies from the local HOA that were willing to debate on my construction methods, but we had some aggressive negotiations and I'm pretty sure they all saw things my way. And the following morning, it was time to head out again. This time, once again, going in the direction of the cannibal camp and the side of the river that I had yet to fully explore. My hope here is either for mountains, for a large iron deposit, or caves that don't immediately lead towards Skulk. I don't know what the additional risks of this mod pack would be with Skulk, and I'm not sure I'm ready to test that. Still only enchanted iron armor, and I'm spending a whole lot of time just making travel time finding, well, the first of those 2 things. A massive mountain range right here with more than enough iron for me to collect. Part of that led to a giant shaft down, a vertical tunnel that seemed relatively closed off from the sides, meaning as long as I pushed forward, I was attacking from a single angle with threats coming from a single direction. And I have more than enough range at this point, and I'm getting fortune on the coal, which means I'm getting more than enough torches to be able to light everything up and start pushing downward. And that's not without its scares. It's not a perfectly safe assault, because at one point, I thought I looked an Enderman in the eye.
Did I accidentally hit the Enderman?
Thankfully, no, so I was able to continue progressing. There's a few different noodle caves that I was working around here, picking up any iron that I could, but I also decided to swap out my helmet for a bone mask, meaning skeletons that saw me didn't immediately open fire, giving me time to be able to crit them out before they realized I was an enemy. At this point, I had pretty much a stack of raw iron in my inventory, and it was going to need to be smelted eventually, but I wanted to get to a safer space to be able to do that, continuing to work through all of the caves and just shooting anything that I didn't want to get close and critting out anything that happened to get within stabbing distance. I finally made it down to the deep slate. I think maybe the first time that I was actually going to be pushing further than just barely grazing the deep slate barrier of world generation. This cave was insanely full of mobs though, but thankfully I could lure over the occasional creeper to explode and clear them out. But there was no clear way in. There was no safe path of assault. So eventually I just needed to do a dumb thing.
Oh no, not Skulk. That's not, that's, oh geez. I just need a minute to craft torches. I don't have a saw. No. Oh wait, I can do this. I can do it with sticks. Okay, I know what you're thinking. I've pretty much just committed myself to death at this point, right? There's no way Legs is gonna make it out of this. He's in a deep, dark cave. He has very little torches. He's surrounded by mobs, and oh yeah, he's on top of a massive patch of skulk. And I'm not gonna lie, in the moment, I was kind of freaking out too. This is one of those situations where, yeah, looking back, this was stupid. This was very, very stupid. But at the moment, I just locked in. Throwing down torches wherever I can, clearing out whatever mobs happen to get close to me, and just trying to find a spot that I can dig into a wall or find a small cave that I can seal behind me, and once again only have to deal with things attacking me from one direction. That's enchanted! Okay, this is annoying. And there goes my boots. I so desperately need. I just need a couple diamonds. You can hear that, me reminding myself why I came down here in the first place. I can't just turn around. I can't just leave. I need a few diamonds to be able to actually progress in this game, and now is the time to get them. I am down here. I'm close enough. I can commit. So I made myself a small little bunker at the end of the cave, making a triple thick wall of cobblestone, just setting up whatever ferni I can and getting everything smelting. By processing all this iron, I can make myself new boots. I can replace other pieces of my armor as they inevitably will break. I can make myself iron tomahawks to give myself additional ranged combat, as I'm pretty much out of arrows at this point. Once everything was done and I was able to work
worked my way out of the cave that I had barricaded myself back and into, I started heading back over towards all of the torches I had placed down, just trying to figure out where my next steps would be. I'm too high for diamonds at this point, from what I can tell, which means I'm going to have to go down. But at this point, down means going into the skulk, and that is a terrifying proposition. So gravity just made me go for it. Oh my god, how am I alive? Oh. This is actually really good because they're not in skulk, so I have a minute to breathe. So stressful. These two are probably safe to open. Yeah, I'll take... Oh my god, that's Swift Sneak 3. This is worthwhile immediately. Just immediate. Just immediate yes. And a regen pot too? That's... Saddle is actually, like... Oh my goodness. The stress I feel right now. I mean, at least I can move quick. Push comes to shove, I'll be able to run. Don't fall into lava, legs, please. Everything it took to get down this low. This might actually be worth opening. I don't know what that is. But it's in all caps, so that's probably powerful. I can't risk the undead tracking me into this space. That feels like a death sentence. Still haven't seen a single diamond. Oh, that's huge. Protection 3 diamond pants. Oh, if only I didn't waste the Swift Sneak book on the iron pants. Are you kidding? I did waste it. Oh, that's devastating. Oh, God! Oh, that's... Yes, please. Collector Rang 1. I don't even know what that is. I need to find a couple diamonds. The whole reason why I came down here. If I leave with none, then I've thoroughly messed up. Six. Sorry, saddle. Collector Rang, blaze, or efficiency. Need to find the best way out of here now. I can't take any of this. Okay, that's a full loop. Now I need to get out. Oh, I can feel my breathing. I think this way is probably my best bet. Although it's going to be stressful. What are you? I don't even know. Oh my god. Oh my, I need to get out of here. That was so aggressive. No, we're leaving. We are leaving. Please do not tell me that that thing can smell me from here. Oh my god. Okay. Woo, we're live. Please do not tell me that there is a warden. That heartbeat you hear right now is not a game sound effect. It's me. Come on. Come on. I need the canteen. I can't leave without it. And after a terrifying and harrowing escape, I had the feeling that the warden wasn't going to give up so easily. The second my water was done purifying, I was digging again, just trying to get closer towards the surface. And once I started hearing the zombie sounds and the thunder, it told me that I was in the right direction, but probably at the wrong time. So after waiting a little bit, after getting my sleep, I tried digging to the surface, and, well, boom. Right away. My first thought was setting up a zombie trap, just having them all drop in and then going in a different direction. But they were waiting for me at the door too. So sometimes you just have to power through and run for your life. But I was now met with a new problem. I had surfaced somewhere with no landmarks, no navigation, and no map to help me find my way home. Okay, this is gonna be tricky. 'Cause I've clearly covered ground. Okay, I think I need to go this way. Finding my way back home with no map, no anything is going to be difficult. I think I need to head west. I think. Oh, it looks like that terrain's just generating. I don't know if that's actually true. Let's try to find some height and a clearing and maybe direction. Hello. Oh, promising. Promising. Okay.
See if I can find a river. If I can find a river, then I know I'm in the right spot. This is a lot of butterflies. I do not remember seeing this many butterflies. Did I bring the saddle? I did. Wait. Horse? Okay, this is looking promising, but I don't know if I'm headed in the right direction, which is really scary for me. Because my inventory is very full and I desperately want to get home. I do not remember this many butterflies. Or bison. There were cold ferns, though. Oh, that's not promising. That means this is new terrain. So if that's new chunks, we're in the right hills here. I do not like how it's already almost night. This is so scary. I think this horse will be fast enough to outrun undead. We can try. We might not have a choice. Oh, pillagers. Great. Oh, that's a bear! And I'm freezing to death. Oh! Lucky Moon. Does Lucky Moon mean I'm going home? That's a massive canyon. Horse, just run. I'm just running in a direction. I hope this is towards home. Maybe if I keep the unloaded chunks on my side, I'll just find my way back. Please. No, horse, come on. Move. Come on, horse. Just once I'm gonna have an animal survive. Come on. Run. Keep running. Wait, I think this is a river. This is definitely a river. I think this might be the river. Oh my goodness, I survived a night out. And I think this might be my riverbed. I don't know about you, I feel pretty lucky. This my river? There's a nether portal here, which I don't think I've seen. Which, wait. Okay, I really hope this is my river. Now, I haven't seen another portal. So is it this way? Upriver? Wait. Wait, this is it. We're on the way home. Because this little connection right here I considered mining out on the way back. We're on the way home. We did it. I can't believe I wandered around so unsafely and was able to successfully. Oh my god. Okay. Don't get alligatored. A pig. Yep, we're on our way home. We're almost there. Oh my God. Okay, we're alive. Oh, let's go. Okay, I am over the moon. Literally could not have asked for anything better right there. Absolutely massive, massive gains. Perfect. Perfect. And now we can put this away. We have that for all the fuel we could ever need. We have lava to make more lava. This is an absolute red letter day. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I'm calling it right now. We're surviving. We've done it. Now we just make as much cool stuff with create as we possibly can before the end of this adventure. First things first, I wanted to get this blaze burner done. I wanted to get all of the blaze rods made, and I was able to do that. The only problem is, well, I had kind of forgotten to get any netherrack from any of the nether portals we had seen, which means I couldn't exactly craft it yet. So I spent a little bit of time just heading out and chopping down trees, focusing on ones a little bit further away from my house just to keep the kind of wooded cover and coverage from all of the skeleton snipers that could just shoot over the wall and snipe me as I'm going to be building out the rest of this structure. Once I had it all and started heading home, I started putting everything in place, getting all the wooden trim done around the midpoint of the overall base, smelting up a whole bunch of cobblestone so I could get smooth stone, and yes, I will call it smooth stone. This is a hill that I will die on, and relying on the auto wood processing from the create area to start making myself a few of the more niche things that I'm going to want for decorating. I also wanted to finish converting the bottom of these walls to stone. It won't exactly be blast proof. The whole stair strategy would work if infinite water was possible. It's just not in this mod pack, at least not easily. I do find a way eventually, but having it at least be stone means it's slightly more blast resistant, meaning I'm not going to have a massive crater pulled out of here with a single creeper blast. And the place is starting to come together. It's starting to feel like a structure that's not only one that I'm going to be able to survive in, but actually thrive. It gives me enough altitude that I can snipe any mobs that seem to get a little too close, and setting up all of the tuff to give myself the very nice trim surrounding all of the windows means that I actually put effort into decorating this place. It's still going to be a little bit function over form. It's a matter of survival at this point, but it is going to be better than just sitting in a hole in the woods. Once I was able to take out all the skeletons that were sniping me as I was working on the roof, I decided it's time to seal this thing up. Originally, I wanted to go for a much more decorative A-frame design, but I didn't have enough stone of any type to really commit to that. So we're just gonna close it in with stone brick and polished andesite to get a nice flat shooting floor in a sense. If I can really just take out mobs from on top of this house, it's much more functional. And this is one of those situations where, yeah, I think we're going to want that. I only had enough stone to enclose about half of the roof before calling it a night there, which means we're going to do even more housework going into day 85. Not before doing my chores though, killing the skeletons, harvesting all of the sugar cane, and really just deciding that this tower that I had set up on the other side of the river, it was never going to get finished to completion to the point where it can actually protect me. So all of the stone brick that's here would be better served really committing to the overall structure of the main house of the compound. I used a lot of that stone brick for the basement walls, getting everything enclosed and upgraded. I can work on getting the roof done at a later date. I need to go mining before I can do that. But I did want to put a little bit of attention towards the front foyer and the front porch, setting up an actual proper and nice looking defense around the front gate. It's still there for defense, but at least we have things like a little bit of greenery and some trapdoors that give the idea that this whole thing has windows which are just closed at the moment.
upgrading some of the walls to deep slate tile to combine everything and switching to a triple fence gate so it'd be easier to work my way in and out. I'm really enjoying the 1 planks for 1 trapdoor conversion that I'm able to use using the sawmill to do some additional decorating around all of the little edges and doing all of the finishing touches surrounding the entrance area. Clearing out all of the mobs on the morning of day 86, I realized that they were literally, and I do mean quite literally, calling in the cavalry.
Yeah, it's time to do... Oh, goodness.
No, did they infect my horse? Did they kill my horse? No. No, they didn't. No, they did. They absolutely did. Oh, you killed my horse? After everything I went through to get that horse? You're kidding me.
All right, it's time to burn everything alive. Well, it's time to burn everything undead alive. Because they have to die. I'm so over it.
Being extremely upset that my horse had not only been killed, but turned against me, I smashed a whole bunch of iron to get myself a new fan, because I'm going to burn everything alive. My thought here is I can set up some lava blowers by using a few gear interchanges to activate a fan to blow hot air through lava to burn anything that passes by the very ends of the fence. I know I can't just put lava underneath the wooden fences. That's obviously a bad idea, but burning any mobs before they can even get to the fence feels like one that is pretty smart. Took a little bit of work to get all the gear interchanges set up so that it would actually blow fire out instead of suck people in towards the lava, but eventually, after a little bit of time and tinkering, the whole thing was ready to go. Not wanting to waste any time, I started setting one up on the other side of the river as well, but there were a few too many skeletons for me to work with right now, and it was starting to get annoying. I went to sleep, and I started to get a message that was really concerning.
Feeling of impending dread. No. Oh, no.
That tells me that a horde is likely to attack the base soon, which means it's a good idea to get the fence actually closed. It's been open for a little while right now, which explains the increase in mobs that were walking around the house. I forgot to close the door behind me. And you know how I said that it was perfectly safe as long as I kept some stone between the lava and all of the wood of my walls?
No. Oh, the spider's burning the fence. The spider's burning the fence. No, no. Okay, well.
Turns out burning mobs set things on fire. And since I can't sleep because of the impending horde, that means I have to fight my way through this with a fence that's partially burned and now compromised. Plus, I broke the fence on the other side of the river, so that side wouldn't burn too. So I'm just wailing on anything that happens to step inside my compound, hiding back inside the house from time to time to recover from the injuries that I keep accumulating. And in all of this, I broke my iron saber, and I only have 4 diamonds left to my name, but it's worth committing 3 of them to give myself the final weapon I will be using in this 100 days. Heading out the next morning with looting on my sword, I'm actually getting significantly more from all of the mobs right here. I'm trying to clear out all of the zombies while staying inside my protected front porch area, but killing every single skeleton is that much more profitable, both in arrows that I can use in future combat, as well as bones, which will help me grow a whole lot more crops. The only problem being that some of those skeletons just really didn't want to get close.
All right, you know what? You can both leave. I don't need you right now. What do I do with you? I need to replace a lot of that with stone, I guess.
But in order to repair the walls, I'm going to need, well, walls. And for that, I'm going to need stone, because stone doesn't burn. Completely shocker, I know. I found down here a few of the holes that I had covered up that had left mobs inside. But once I had about a half a stack's worth of walls, I prioritized just heading up and closing out the fence's gaps as quickly as humanly possible. I cleared out whatever skeletons were just hanging out around this area, blocked off a little bit of it with fences, and then went over towards where the fire had occurred and replacing all of the burned fences with cobblestone walls, thinking that this could provide a sufficient fire line between my defenses and the flammable material surrounding my base. I decided to call that one done. I initially thought, let's just dig a moat around the house at this point, just close everything in. But I was worried at this point that changing out the stone walls that I had spent so much time working for dirt that's underneath the house might actually disadvantage me, making a single creeper being able to blow their way into the structure and putting me into a hole instead of just having a wall that I could potentially plug. So instead, I turned my attention to the roof, thinking if I can fully enclose the structure, it's finally one that I could fully stay inside. I tried sleeping again and wasn't allowed to again, which I'm not gonna lie was actually getting kind of annoying. At this point, this feeling of impending dread was just about the US political climate instead of the zombies that were actually coming to attack me. And I get enough of that in real life. I don't need to deal with that here. So I just took my anger out on all the skeletons and then turned my attention to fixing this wall. But realizing that I had basically made my defenses with a little ramp that you could effectively just go over them.
Oh, I see what's happening. They're walking through. They're walking over that bit. Okay.
I really wanted to get that secure. So I fought my way to get a little bit closer towards where those lava blowers were actually working, getting knocked down into the river with several drowned all swimming at me with weapons in hand. Being able to just barely get back in the house and realizing that I had just been fighting nonstop for about an hour of real world time. It was time to call it a rest in real life. But unfortunately, that led right into a kind of a big setback on the next day.
Oh, no, my chest. No, not the chest plate. Well, there's all the diamonds I have. Thorns is actually pretty great. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. That's actually pretty good.
Having an unplanned upgrade to my chest plate, I focused on the base, finding a few spots where the fence had burned away that I didn't even notice before, and finally actually closing the gap where all of the mobs could just walk over one of the traps that I'm using to try to defend this place. But at this point, I'm back to basically just eating baked potatoes, and that's not really going to cut it. So I focused on first feeding all of the sheep that I have right here and gathering all of the required materials that I could start making myself some additional barbecue as soon as I go ahead and butcher a couple of the sheep, which I don't want to do just yet. So the next morning, I cooked almost all of the rice that I had just to get myself very simple and basic cooked rice, which might not sound like a lot, but it does provide the comfort buff, which will give me basically unlimited max saturation for a few minutes on top of the benefit that it directly provides. But I didn't want to take all of it and cook it because, well, some of it can be used to actually grow more rice. But first, I have to set up ground that actually will work for that. That includes planting dirt underneath full source blocks just one block deep. The only problem is, because of the way that the water physics work in this game, or at least in this game with this mod pack, the water won't resource on top of all of the dirt. But thankfully, my skyblock experience is coming into play here a little bit because there is a way to force additional source blocks to generate. It just requires a bit of bone meal. You can have the water run from one block higher, bone meal underneath it, getting yourself kelp, which does cause everything to resource. It's tedious, it's time consuming, and it's way harder than just working with 2 buckets, which perfectly fits for the theme here, but I understand why water is infinite in vanilla Minecraft. But now that that was all ready to go, I made myself a half a stack of bowls and just threw them in the cook pot so they'd be useful for containing whatever different food I decided to make for myself, and I'm looking at a few of the options that I have to see what I could really go hard with. And there are a couple options, but a lot of them, and one of my favorites is one that you've seen me use in a 100 Days video before. It's pasta with mutton chops, and well, I have everything I need for this right here. Sorry, sheep.
I need to get the mutton out from under there. Oh my god, this is such a mess.
But with the sheep all angry at me, there's no way I'm going to be able to actually get all the resources that I just killed for. But thankfully, in order to pacify all of those mobs, all you really need to do is feed them a little bit of wheat to put them back into love mode, and everything just kind of works. From there, I set all the tomatoes to cook up to make myself a whole bunch of pasta sauce, and it's time to get all of that dough converted into noodles. The only problem is crafting all of that dough up with water is going to be insanely time consuming and problematic given our no infinite water in this mod pack, so we're gonna have to come up with something different. So since I don't have infinite water, I'm going to need to come up with another solution. But before that, I need to deal with all of the mobs that have made their way in, as my fan defenses aren't really working. And considering they're not helping too much and they're setting things on fire, which is burning the walls, I made sure to pick them up and bring them back inside because I need to use one of those fans with a single block of water to wash, I think that's what it's called. I've never actually used this mechanic before. All of the flour into dough, which I can then bring inside to start making myself some of the best foods in the pack. But since the create defenses weren't really working, I think I'm going to pivot here and instead turn to relying on belts to be able to cart mobs into something that would cause them to die. Except as I'm in the middle of working on all of this, a blood moon rose. No. Oh no. Now I need to get work done. I cannot just hole up inside the house. We are on day 90. So I just frantically started building out whatever bit of a barrier I could right here on the riverbank. I never really wanted to seal myself away from the water. If anything, I wanted to secure the full circle and the water itself so I could use that to survive. But the mobs here aren't leaving me any more choices, so I have to act quickly. Now that doesn't protect me against the ones on spiderback, so I'm still constantly at threat, even though I'm able to hold the majority of the horde back right now. Ow! Oh, that burning is actually really bad. But I started by trying to set up a couple different conveyor belts, thinking that that could just cart mobs into a pit with lava in it. Basic, yes, but functional. The problem is I'm still taking shots from the other side of the river and the occasional mob that is able to somehow find a way through the walls. I don't know how they're imperfect, but they are. I'm able to get the very first set of belts in play, putting the lava down, and then dealing with the mobs on the other side, including multiple archers on spiderback so they can just walk over the walls like they're nothing. And just as I opened it all up, thinking, now's the time, right? Make a gap, allow them to come through. I was wrong.
Oh, they can walk across. They can walk across. Nice. Oh my goodness, that's almost broken too.
So that forced me back into the house where I had to hold out for the rest of the night, which meant the following morning, I have a whole bunch of mobs in the complex that I'm going to need to take care of. And it's getting bad. Most of my body is injured at this point. I'm completely yellow from head to toe. Most of my armor is at half durability or worse, and these things hit hard. And I'm really nervous I'm gonna get overwhelmed and killed in the last 10 days again. But I was able to eventually get it so that all the mobs were on the other side of the walls, and then I was able to fence off this side of the belts, thinking maybe they'll be stupid enough to just walk onto it. Possibly. I'm really hoping so. If not, this is kind of worthless. But once that side of the wall was all taken care of, I turned my attention back over, closer to the wheelhouse, to first start setting up potential gear interchanges to have it all be powered by the main mess of cogwheels, but then realizing that I'm gonna have to separate it out and have it be its own powered thing. And I figured out that one of the ways that mobs were getting in was through the wheelhouse. There's a 2x1 tunnel right here that they could just walk inside that I never blocked up. But once I had gone and repaired the damage from the blood moon assault the previous day, fixed and started digging the pit that I'm going to be putting the lava down into, I slept because I do not want this smoke. Going into day 92, and my pasta is ready. This is something I've been leading up to for some 10 days at this point, and I was finally able to get it all cooked up. This is an extremely high saturation and high food content food. It'll basically fill my hunger bar with just one item, and it gives me saturation and comfort, which sets me up for multiple minutes. It's basically perfect for a survival scenario like this. Consider it carb loading. And I'm gonna need it because a whole bunch of skeletons have pinned themselves in the river directly outside of the walls. And I'm in a very low range sniper duel with all of them. But thinking about this, I actually want to secure the rice that I have here in the river on the inside of the wall. So I could cook that to have more food because food is nice and I like eating. Why do you think I make these YouTube videos? But I spent the first hours of the day cleaning up the final remnants of the blood moon so that more mobs wouldn't continue congregating on the outside of my walls. I also set up a gate so that I could actually access the river. Right now I need to manually break the wall to be able to go out there. Finally being able to go to the other side of the river and disable that lava fan blower, breaking that all down so I could use that for other more survival oriented uses. And then heading inside and starting to smelt up a bunch of kelp and prepare for another belt array on the other side of the wall, hoping that I can just continue putting mobs into this lava pit. I actually want to set this up from two directions. One from the river so that they could walk in through this little gap and then get pushed into the lava. And then another one from the other side, just on the ground where they could get pulled in. While I was doing that, I realized that I never actually made the blaze burner. I made all 8 blaze rods, but then, if I remember right, a blood moon had happened and I got distracted with just attempting to survive. So add that back onto my to-do list as I headed down underground to just mine up as much stone as I could to get more fireproof materials ready for all of the defenses that I still feel like I need to build. But when I returned to the surface the following morning, at least there was some good news waiting for me.
Okay, so it does work. Mostly. It needs some tweaking, but it's getting there. But that trap's only half done, so I set up the other belts and then started trying to focus on getting the other side of it running. First, I needed to clear out all the mobs that were here. Second, I actually needed to repair all the damage from the creeper explosions along the wall. And then it was all about transferring power to the other side of this over here and doing so at a speed that would pull mobs in towards the lava. And that actually required a third belt to be able to transfer the power over enough distance to then set up a couple gears so that it would all be turning in the correct direction, so it would actually pull things in towards their deaths. And like I've said, my brain does not work on the spinning, so this took a little while and a couple different versions of trial and error. But eventually... Okay, so now that's a way in where they will just get cooked. Now both ways just push to that, so that's good to go.
It might not be fast, but it's working. After that, I got into the jankiest of duels between the gates with a single skeleton that was sniping me from the middle of the river and was reminded that, oh yeah, I need to get this rice inside the walls. Secure your food source, Legundo. It's like survival 101. So the following morning, saber in hand, I headed out into the river to stab anything that looks like it's trying to stab or bite me and to get a stone wall on the outside of all of the rice to get that secured. While that was happening, I kept hearing mobs burning in the lava, but it turns out my defenses are a little less discriminatory about what they kill.
Oh no! Okay, so it works a little too well on turtles. That's very, very good to know, I guess.
But I grabbed myself a bunch of bones to make bone meal to make a bone block, which I could use to haunt a piece of sand into soul sand, having to go inside to chop rice while I was there, but make a shovel because you can't break soul sand with your hand in this pack. That's just frustrating. Pressing out all of the iron plates and combining that with a blaze burner and 7 of the blaze rods to be able to finally make a populated blaze burner. I know, 94 days in and I'm getting to mixing. This has been such a successful create adventure, right? But I went to hook that into the water wheels and, well...
yeah, finally overstressed it. Finally overstressed it. That's too fast right there. But I think...
yeah, just like me, it's finally overstressed, which means we're not going to be able to put that as part of this system. We're going to need to come up with a different way of powering it. And I do have an idea that I've been kind of passively saving up for about 50 days now. So the next morning, let's just get to work, right? It'll be easy, right?
Oh my god. Get away from me. That was completely uncalled for. Are you kidding me right now?
I'm gonna lose it. That destroyed the saw and the belts and the chest. And so many other... I'm furious. Okay, I need... I'm gonna lose it. Alright, I need new belts. I have dirt that I can set to smelt. Or not smelt. Dirt that I can place. I have more than enough dirt. I need things I can burn. Sure. Yeah, let's use you. That's more than a stack of dirt to repair. That's one explosion. That was brutal. So unforgivingly brutal, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, let's make another chest. That there. Oh, I lost a funnel too? And I lost the saw. That's upsetting. Where should we get power from? I want to put it somewhere where it's like good, but not too good. There we go. Let's go on the roof. So having my wood production massively hampered right here at the end just hurts. So instead, I turned my attention towards just getting this windmill up and running. It feels like this is I'm thriving, not just surviving in this world. So I focused on getting it set up on the roof, relying on the wrench to try to get everything up in place, going to sleep as quickly as I could into the night so I'm not accumulating more mobs, and just getting all the sails in place and finally getting it turning. Let's let that turn to here, and then we'll just put it on the side again. Okay. Let's pull the power into here. Here. That, and if we rotate that. Oh. We totally could have flipped that. Okay, that's annoying. So that'll put power to there, or if we're smart, we'll put power... Perfect. I think we have all the belts we need to do that right here. One to two. 3, 4. That's now pulling power to outside. Cool. I'm going to do something which is probably going to upset people. And I'm going to use just a bunch of gears, of which I don't have enough. There. That. There we go. Spinning a little quicker. Come on, over this way. Gotcha. There we go. That's set up. Now if I move... Come on over this way. Come on, come eat me. Come get me. Come get me. Idiot. So with the blaze burner down, the mixer powered, everything running, and the traps, well, trapping things successfully, this is feeling like a great time to get into the Bronze Age. Now, if I'm right... this should make brass. Nice, 20 of those. Perfect. Can I get to... I think I need to make the brass casings before I can... so I need another axe. Come on, come get me. Over this way. Yes, perfect. Oh, that one's fast enough to push against it. Interesting. Three, and I need 21 of these. There's 7 of these. I already have more than enough. How do I make the tubes? I forgot how to tube. What kind of skyblock player am I? I need to haunt things. I need to make quartz. And I don't think I have amethyst. I need to make rose quartz. Methinks it's possible. I am slightly dead-ended. Are the fan? Where's the fan? Oh no, don't tell me they blew up the fan. I'm realizing now they blew up the fan. Reeling from another massive create piece getting destroyed, I moved all the lava over, got it covered up so it wouldn't set anything on fire, and then had a bit of a thought. You know, that thing where your brain tells you something that you're supposed to remember. I thought I had more than one fan. Wait, I think I know where the fan is. Hold on. Yep, there it is. I had a lot more casings here, too. And a lot of other things. Oh, I am such a dummy leaving things in bad places. Perfect. I can make... I don't think I have any amethyst to haunt it to make quartz. Because rose quartz takes that to make. And I don't think... No. That's a bummer. Because there's amethyst in that ancient city, and I left it behind. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Also, these are about to break. So yeah, unfortunately, it looks like we're a little technology locked. Without going back to the ancient city to go pick up all of the amethyst that I had left behind there, or finding a geode in the, let's be honest, extremely freaking dangerous underground of this world, we're not going to be able to progress on technology any further. So at this point, let's just work on survival. I improved all of my gear, enchanted, combined, and set up as much as I could. Made myself as much healing herbs as I could. And went out and bred up all of the sheep so I could have more food, or so the world could be ready for you when you take over from me when you get this world from my Patreon. And the following morning, I'm realizing that I have survived in this house, but it doesn't look like a home. So I turned my attention inside, setting up whatever I could as decoration, relying on a few of the different create items, setting up a bunch of chests, going ahead and dyeing and making myself a mailbox. I don't know who would send me mail in this world, but that's kind of cool. But it was finally time to get things into their proper place, get things organized, situated, settled, make it look like I actually thrived here in this adventure, not just barely scraped by the skin of my teeth. And in getting all of the chests in place, finally installing railings, making my house OSHA compliant, and seeing just how much treasures and accomplishments I had made throughout this adventure, it was feeling like I had actually done so. I had succeeded in the goals that I had set for myself. I had learned Create, if not perfectly. I had done so in the worst possible conditions to learn the mod. No tools, no maps, no guides, no nothing, and yet I still prevailed. I'd pushed back against the undead, even though I didn't do so without casualties on my side.
Oh, a wandering trader, no. I feel bad, that's probably my fault. They just came to me to trade.
I can finally venture out of the walls without feeling afraid, clear out the mobs that are constantly harrowing me, and feel like we're on even footing. I'm not crushing everything in this world. I'm not unkillable. I'm not a god, but I'm still able to make it. But there's exactly one thing I hadn't been able to do yet, and that was summit the mountain that I had started to climb some 50 days prior. So I started working on a set of cold weather gear, thinking that that would be the perfect ending to this 100 days. A perfect, just small personal task I set for myself at the end of this adventure, thinking I'd go to sleep, be ready, and that was it. But just as I was ready to call it a night, just as I was ready to say that this 100 days adventure was basically done beside the finale, the world had one final curveball to throw my way.
Oh, that's not good. Come on. Everybody come over here. Conga line towards the pit of death. It's working. Down you go. Perfect. My defenses are flawless. This is going well. Oh, I don't like you. Where's this coming from? Come on. Everybody in. Perfect. Wait, where's my bow? Where'd my bow go? They stole my bow! Did they steal my bow? Oh, they almost pulled me into the lava. That's not good either. And I hit the sheep, so now they're mad at me too. Yeah, my bow's just gone. That's annoying. That was a really good bow. Come on, everybody in, conga line. Perfect. Working exactly as planned. Not as planned. They are in the walls. We have a problem right now. No, 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 no. That's not good. Not good at all. Oh, that's so many skeletons. That's a lot of zombies. They're not gonna burn. Nothing about this is going to burn. Like that I'm hearing explosions. Alright, there's only one way out of here, and I think that's to get rescued. But I think I know what I need to do. Get to the top of that mountain. Pop flares.
Please don't hit a tree. Just run. Run like the wind, Bullseye. Yeah, I'm starting to get up. We're starting to get cold. We're into cold territory. There was a chicken right here the whole time. Okay, it's time to swap out our cold weather gear and make this trip easy. It helps if I hold a torch, probably too. Top of the mountain. That's where we need to go. It's still cold? We gotta do it at this point. We're here. Send out the signal. It's so cold. But we did it. Day 100. Absolutely frigid, absolutely freezing, but we survived. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. That gives 1 heart? What is wrong with this mod pack? Who made this? Take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. Bye-bye.